Hello everyone, and welcome to this presentation on incident reporting and management using the Proactively digital tool. For those of you who aren't familiar with Proactively, it's a digital solution for better safety, health, environment, and quality management. Of course, today we're looking at incidents, so we're looking at health and safety. So what can it do for you? Well, first of all, it's a digital solution, and that's always about working more efficiently. So perhaps if you think about how you're doing this at the moment, if you have an incident, then you probably have to go and get a piece of paper, make a paper report. You take that bit of paper to the health and safety manager. He types it into an Excel spreadsheet. Perhaps some of that information is missing. He has to go and find out the bits that he couldn't read. He loses the piece of paper, all these sort of things that can get wrong. He then does an investigation and he has to set some actions. And then he has to find out if those actions have been done. Again, very, very time consuming. So with all these things, we can have built into Proactively a series of automated reporting, automated notifications to get it done really quickly and efficiently with good control so that you have more time to actually make a difference and do the things that you find interesting in your job. Reporting with Proactively is very, very easy. Now, again, we talked about the pieces of paper. Everyone hates bureaucracy. Can you imagine instead, take the phone out of your pocket, and pretty much everyone is carrying a phone with them, quickly send a report, send it off. That's going to be much more engaging for people. And that means you'll get a lot more information, a lot more incident reporting, and particularly near miss reporting, which is the one that we really find difficult to gather. Real-time information. So here we're talking about incidents. And you'll know that the quicker you find out about an incident, the quicker you can start taking that emergency action, the quicker you can do an investigation, and the better it's going to be, the better the outcomes are going to be. So having real-time information is a huge advantage. And then lastly on here, flexibility. Well, every company is different. Everyone is looking to collect slightly different information. You know, you'll have different departments in your organization. There's a drag and drop system built within Proactively, which means that you can change the questions to exactly what you want to know. So let's get to our accident. Can I please introduce, this is Tom Jones, and you can see he works in the woodworking shop, and he's just had an accident. He's cut his hand. So the first aider comes across and is going to do some first aid with him. And now we need to send a report in. So if I push onto the screen, this is the Proactively app. I've opened it up and I'm going to send an incident report. Now, the first question is, are you safe? This is an incident situation, so it's going to be unsafe. You have to think about that. You have to think, often mobile devices can be a real distraction. You don't want that happening so that you are going to put yourself or someone else in danger. So make sure we're safe and then we can go for it. Now let's type through. So background information, date and time, it automatically fills, but actually it was a bit earlier ago. It wasn't at 2:30, it was at 2 o'clock, our accident. So we can change that. Where did it happen? It was in the workshop. Where exactly? It was by the circular saw. Who is injured? Well, that would be Tom Jones. His role, he's an employee. What happened? Let's go back just and have a look at the situation again. So when I first look at this picture, what I see is that circular saw, which, you know, we all have seen some horrible pictures from incidents with that. Now, luckily, Tom didn't hurt himself on the circular saw. Otherwise, it would probably be considerably worse than it is now. If you look down in this corner, you can see that there's trailing cables and lots of sawdust. So actually what happened was he was on his way to tea break and he tripped over that cable and he cut his hand on a chisel. So let's bring back that and type that in. So what was the person doing before he was going to tea break? How often is that the cause? And then describe the incident. So he tripped on the cable. He fell and he cut his hand on the chisel, which was also lying on the floor. Right, we can now take a picture of that. Let me bring up. Oh, let's go back here. Wait, right. Let's go. We don't want to take the picture with him in it, but we want to get those tables in the corner. Right, let's take that picture. Okay, we'll use that photo. So if I push the screen back again, you can see that the photo is now in the report, and photos are fantastic. They will give you a lot more information that's a lot clearer to understand than typing great amounts of information. So what of the hazards have caused that? Now, it was definitely housekeeping. I can look down and think if there's any of the others, because perhaps there was something else involved, but I think I'm going to leave it at that. Were there any witnesses? No, I'll leave that blank. And then we get to the injury. So what sort of injury was it? Well, he cut himself, he cut his hand. Any treatment? He had first aid. Any further comments? I'm going to leave that blank. And then a signature, and I can do that with my finger. And I'm ready to send. Because I'm the health and safety manager, I'm out and about walking around the site, and this has come as an email into my phone. And now I can click it to view the report. Right, let's bring that onto it. Now, this is the other part of the Proactively system. This is the bit that's coming over the web portal. So what comes up is the report that's been sent. Look, you can see the photo in there, and I can see exactly what happened. So interestingly, here, who is injured? You can see these stars. Now, particularly in Europe, we're very particular about personal information, and we wouldn't want that name going in a report that someone else could read. So this is an encrypted question and can only be read by someone who has the correct code, so the correct permission to do that. So I'm going to read through what happened. And now I want to send a message back to Tom to say, I hope you're okay. I hope you feel better soon. Just so that we care. And in the messages tab, I hope you feel better soon. You can see it at the bottom. So now Tom knows that someone is listening to him. So let's imagine Mary now, she gets this notification, she knows that there's an accident, and she heads straight over to the woodworking workshop. Now she's going to do a 5 whys investigation. So let's think back what happened. So he cut his hand. Why did that happen? He tripped on the cable. Why did that happen? Because there was poor housekeeping. Why did that happen? Well, in our company, we have a system where you're meant to tidy up everything last thing at night. And we have a procedure for that. That wasn't followed. So the procedures and processes weren't followed. Why did that happen? Poor supervision. So the supervisor in that department hasn't kept that level of maintenance of housekeeping going. So in our root cause, let's say poor supervision with no cleaning done. Okay, and let's save that. Okay, so now we know that the problem was the poor housekeeping. Let's add an action. I'm going to be really simple here. So let's do one of the easy ones, which would just say tidy up. And I'm going to assign that. I'm going to now assign that to Alison. And I want it done immediately. So let's put tomorrow's date on it. So now the action is in the system. Right, let's have a look again at my emails. Okay, so the next one's come in. So here, now I'm Alison. Now I am the department head for the woodworking workshop. And I can see that I've been assigned an action, and it says tidy up. So let me view it now. Okay, so I know that I need to do some tidying, and I go ahead and I do it. And then I can close the action. I can say that it's been done and the area is now tidy. Now, one of the things that I have done in tidying it up is all those chisels that were scattered all over the floor. I picked them up and I put them in a rack. So let's go back to the report. Here we are. I sent to the health and safety manager a picture to prove that it's been done. And we can now attach that to the report. Look, doesn't that look absolutely beautiful? Those lovely chisels in that rack. So we now know exactly what has been done to close out that report. We know it's closed. We know that it's going to be saved. So we can say that it's been completed and the area is now tidy. And also we did a toolbox talk. And refreshed the need for a tidy work area, a clean work area. Oops. Okay, and I can now save that. So we work on health and safety, most of the people in this call. And so we're very used to the fact that we need to collect really good evidence to say what's happened, track through what's happened, and be able to be audited at any stage. So here in this history tab, I'm going to go through quickly with you. We can see exactly what happened. So the incident report, it was done only 6 minutes ago because we're in a webinar. I then sent a message to Tom to say, I hope you feel better soon. We did the analysis. We found the root cause was poor supervision. We assigned an action to tidy up. The action was then done and it was closed. So the area is now tidy. We put the picture in. And then we closed the report and we said, yes, we did the toolbox talk and all the other things that go along with it. So we have time, date and person stamped for every step of that process. That means if we get auditors in, if we have an insurance company that wants to come and see what happens, we can show exactly what happened. Right, let me go back here. So we've done the accident report with Tom. If I just repeat to you what was happening. So Tom had an accident, he had first aid, and then we recorded it in the mobile app. So you saw the incident report form. We saw the notification, the email that went to the health and safety manager. The health and safety manager then went and did a quick investigation and found the root cause. He then decided, it was Mary, she decided what the action needed to be and sent an email to the department manager to set that action. And the department manager did a great job of tidying away those chisels and did the action, closed the action. We then sent the photo, so we know that it's been done. We can check that it's all good, and we can check that area is now safe. So we have just looked at all those steps in the process. We also saw the feedback where we said to Tom, I hope you're okay, because actually our profession is about caring. So we need to involve people and send that feedback. Now I'd like to look at this final block, which is analysis. You can see we can go into the dashboard, right? So information has come real time again into the dashboard. Now, what do we want from a dashboard? You have to ask yourself before you start. And this is again a self-serve dashboard. So you can change these questions from this is the standard one, change it for what you want to see. First of all, we want to know how many incidents has there been. So each month, how many incidents did we have? We can see we had 1 in January. We've had 4 in June. So June has been a particularly bad month for having accidents. We want to know where we're going to focus our actions. So what can we do that gets the most bang for the buck? Now, the injury type we've had, our highest one is cuts and bruises, and body part highest is hand. So if we're thinking about that, we're thinking maybe people working with knives and tools, and maybe we want to do a toolbox talk in that area. Where did the incidents happen? Well, the biggest one here is in the workshop. So maybe that's where we want to do our toolbox talk on working safely with knives and chisels. Role of injured person. Well, our biggest one is employees, which you might expect. But you can also get companies where, for example, an apprentice or someone who's new to the job, they are often more vulnerable. They have less skill in the work that's going on. And so you might be finding that apprenticeship is the biggest one here. Now, where should we be targeting? If we look here, it matches very closely to what Edward said. Our biggest pillar here is for housekeeping. So we have only a limited amount of resources. We know that that's what we need to focus on: housekeeping and cutting of hands. So that's the sort of information we can get from a dashboard. And the whole point of this is so that we can use this information to make better decisions, to take the resources that we have and to target them really well so that we can keep people safe. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much for coming, and hope to see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Edward.
Thank you very much.